Hey guys, I'm Steve. This is my channel, The Coastie Hiker. This is my first YouTube video of my channel, and today's topic is going to be my first hiking experience and why I decided to even start this channel to begin with. Hey guys, again, my name is Steve, The Coastie Hiker. Thank you for watching this video. This is my first YouTube video on my channel. I am so excited. I'm also nervous. I've never done anything like this before. So I just thought, why not start a YouTube channel, just talk about your passion, which one of them is backpacking, hiking, and everything that comes with it. The gear, the terrible experiences you've had because you have not hiked in just all glitz and glamour. You have had to have had some crappy hikes. It happens. It's inevitable. So I want to talk about that, and I just want to hear from you guys down below about your experiences, the gear that you use, the gear that works for you, ways you prepare for hikes even. That's what I'm going to be talking about. That's what this channel is going to be about, is helping one another, communicating, and just making a more positive experience and learning about, hiking, backpacking, and just the outdoors in general. So in the intro, I also said that I was going to talk about my first experience backpacking. And my first experience backpacking was truly terrible. So before I started taking backpacking serious, a little bit about me. I grew up hiking. I'm originally from the Cleveland, Ohio area, a suburb called Avon Lake. I'm in the Coast Guard, and that is why my channel is the Coastie Hiker. Coast Guard men and women, their nickname is called Coasties, so the Coastie Hiker is what I came up with. Today, the day I'm making this video, is also my 14-year mark in the Coast Guard, so going strong on that. So I started taking hiking and backpacking, overnight backpacking, serious in about 2008. Previous to that, I would just typically go car camping and just camping trips or just camping in the woods, where you maybe hike a few miles in and you set up camp, and then I just day hike around everywhere that day. It wasn't fully carrying your gear every single day. It was just day hikes, easy, come back to camp, make dinner, all your stuff, and it was easy. First true backpacking experience was when I was stationed in Buffalo, New York. I started getting into it and wanting to take it a little bit more serious, so I did. At the time, Bear Grylls was really popular. So everybody did what Bear Grylls did, right? So the gear I brought was, anything that might be used for outdoor. It was more survival stuff. So I was bringing, feet upon feet of paracord and dumb stuff. Fire starters, multiple fire starters, different kinds. Weird things that you think you're going to need to start a fire with, like a 9-volt battery and steel wool. You don't need a 9-volt battery and steel wool to make a fire. So my first trip, I got everything I needed. My first pack that was one of the great purchases I made back in 2008, and I actually have been using the same exact pack from 2008. I am finally replacing it this year. I have a new pack on order from Light AF, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And when I do, you will be seeing a review from me, because I am just so excited to wear it, play with it, everything. I've just seen his products throughout the internet, other YouTube channels, and it's just an awesome company, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Anyways, back to the story. So I had the same pack, this High Sierra. Thankfully, I made that purchase smartly. What I didn't do was purchase a sleeping pad, and I was camping in Western New York, just outside the Allegheny National Forest, and it was late March, no sleeping pad. I thought I would be just good to go in my 40-degree mummy bag. I froze my butt off. It was miserable. One of the worst experiences backpacking that I've ever had. Probably actually the worst. I also coupled that because I wanted to try and make sure my pack was light, even though I was carrying tons of ridiculous gear that I didn't need. I wanted to make sure my pack was light, so I bought a bivy tent and didn't realize how claustrophobic I was. For those of you that have never seen a bivy tent, they are super small, little cocoon, half circle, usually one pole, and it's super easy. It just arcs over, you zip yourself in, and you are confined to the tiniest little area to sleep in. It's impossible to roll around. I have broad shoulders. I'm 6 foot, and it's just not easy to do. Actually, I'm 5'11" and some change. My wife will give me crap if I don't officially disclaim that. Anyways, so couple the 40-degree bag, and the nighttime temps were probably right at 40 degrees. It's late March. The ground is still ridiculously cold. And the bivy tent, and I didn't have a ton of extra layers in the sleeping bag. I just had a hoodie and the pants I was in and a mid layer. And so it was miserable. I did, however, fashion a sweet chair out of some down wood with the paracord that I brought and this ridiculous dumb knife that I also thought I had to have. Secondly, with that trip, it was only one night. Packed way too much for one night, as we sometimes do. So that was the other rough part, was carrying all this stuff. It was colder and we wanted to have some fun, so we brought some heavy gear, heavy pots and pans to do stuff. Didn't really end up needing any of it or using any of it. I was kind of lucky that I had some of that fire starter stuff because it had been raining a ton leading up to the hike. So the ground was super soaked. So thankfully some of the fire starter and stuff I did bring kind of actually came in handy. I was able to start some small kindling fires, and it took about an hour to get a decent small fire, like, you know, something that big going. Started putting wood by it, start drying it out, and luckily that worked out. So the thing that stunk with the sleeping bag, one, not having a sleeping pad made it awful because you're sleeping on the cold ground. You're losing ridiculous amounts of heat that you can trap with a sleeping pad. I should have never bought a mummy bag with how big my shoulders are. They're wide. I just don't fit in mummy bags. Luckily, I have since upgraded multiple times. I thought that was the other thing. Mummy bags were in back then, and so I had to follow the craze and make sure to have a mummy bag. So now the bag of choice that I have is the Enlightened Equipment Enigma. I will be doing a review on that. This bag is the best. It's the best bag I've ever used. I switched to a quilt style last year is when I bought it. Previously to that, I was just using a regular sleeping bag. I got away from the mummy one. I was just using a simple bag. I had a 30-degree Marmot, and that worked well for pretty much everything I needed. I also got a normal sleeping pad, and everything got better over the years. So one of the other things I want to be able to talk about on this channel, aside from my crappy stories, if you guys listen to them like that one, is gear. As far as gear goes, I will be doing video reviews of all the gear that I currently have. One of the downfalls to the gear is I typically don't buy a lot of new gear. Unless it's something cheap and budget friendly, I kind of lock in on what works for me. And I've been doing this for about 12 years now, backpacking. So I've got a pretty good idea of what works for me. The gear that I have is gear that has been good to me. It's gear that is tested well, reviewed by a lot of people before I purchased, and it's gear that lasts. I would love to try new gear all the time just to mess around, because who wouldn't? It's outdoor gear. It's fun. It's fun to play with. It's fun to test. However, I'm just not at that point in my life. I wish I could, with being in the military and, having a family and stuff, got to find that balance. So I try and stick to gear that is going to last for a long time, and that means durability and I'm looking for stuff that's not going to break the bank. About not breaking the bank though, there are some items that are worth breaking the bank, and you should, if you can afford it and if you can save up, do that. But your big three, I honestly would try not to skimp on. I know there are great budget deals out there, but we will talk about that in other videos, and there's other videos out in the YouTube world talking about budget-friendly big three, which is sleep system, tent, and backpack. I will cover all that stuff that I use. I will cover all the gear I'm going to be using in my upcoming hike that I've planned in May, and I will do a review on every single piece of gear I have. Maybe it'll help you guys. That's what this channel is going to be about, helping you and making sure I'm passing knowledge on, because that's what this is all about, right? We're kind of all hikers together and in this together, so the more experiences you can share with people, I think the better off we are. You know, sharing this information is important. It's a big deal. You know, you can learn not only good things about past experiences and from other people. You can learn, okay, maybe that person did something a certain way. Maybe I do something that you don't like, and it helps you avoid that. Perfect. It still helps you. That's what I'm about, helping you do whatever you want better in the hiking world. If you want to, you know, are in the market for a piece of gear that I'm reviewing, cool. Hopefully it helps you get there. Learning how to do different things in the woods. You know, one of the benefits of being in the military, or Coast Guard specifically, was when I first joined, I was a deckhand. So learning how to tie a ton of different knots, that has been one of the most beneficial things that I have learned in the Coast Guard, amongst a ton of other, but that one big time translates to the hiking world. But all in all, this channel is going to just be about my experiences. Hopefully they help you, gear reviews, and just talking about, you know, what helps you hike, vlogging the hikes I go on, and you know, just experiences in general. So I get to barely be a weekend warrior anymore. I was hiking a lot in years past, going probably at least every 2 or 3 months doing a trip. Now I'm lucky if I get to go 2 or 3 times a year. I'm perfectly happy with that. I'd love to do more, but I still am active duty and I have a family to take care of. So, you know, striking that balance. One day it is a dream of mine to do a long distance hike. So that is definitely something I am super, super interested in. Unfortunately, I won't get to do that until I'm retired from the military, but that is on the bucket list. So as far as the hikes that I go on, I have one coming up, and I will, you know, talk about that in some future videos. And that, I go on just a lot of day hikes and parks, things like that for now. So, you know, I'm not looking to go crazy on this channel, and that's truly it, and just build this hiking community up even more. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is only my first video. I have more coming down the pike. I have more coming down the pipe. I have more videos coming down the pipe. Ooh, creepy wink. Yeah, we'll go with that one. So I have more stuff coming. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.